Well, hello everybody. My name is Didi Verg, and I'm your host for Let's Talk Hypnosis, brought to you live by Hypnothoughts Live 2018. And our very special guest here today is James Hazelrig. Welcome to the show, James. Hazelrig?
Hazelrig, like a hazel tree.
Sorry. Like a hazel tree. Wonderful, wonderful. What a wonderful metaphor, because actually James is known in our industry as a champion storyteller. So let me tell you a little bit about James. James is not only a hypnotist, but he's also an author. He's a meditation teacher. He's a professional musician, a hypnosis trainer, and as I said, a champion storyteller. He's also taught anger management for Austin Recovery and mental freedom at the Travis County Jail. So in 2014, he co-authored a book with Richard Nongard called Speak Ericksonian, which is Mastering the Hypnotic Methods of Milton Erickson. And his most recent publication is called The Little Book of Laughnosis, Using the Hypnotic Power of Unconditional Laughter to Change Lives. James also has a private practice in Austin, Texas. So James, you are, again, a popular speaker at Hypnothoughts. You've actually got 3 workshops on some very, very interesting subjects. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is using metaphor with smokers. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So in my private practice, I really focus on smoking cessation, or as I like to think of it, smoking emancipation. It's really about freedom. And I feel that a lot of times smokers come in with a bad story about themselves. Their story is they're addicted, they're helpless, they're weak. Right. There's this thing that's controlling their lives. And I feel like we need to change that story for them. And so really from the minute they walk in, we're reframing it all. And I'm using various stories to help them do that. Stories about, and some of these are true stories, by the way, and some of them are completely made up.
Sure.
But stories about a freed slave who was offered a job on the old plantation and turned it down and said, no, you'll have to pay me for all that time that I worked for you, because that was a truly free man. And I use the metaphors and stories about a friend of mine who realized one day as an adult that he had just eaten an ice cream sandwich and he didn't enjoy it. Right. And he thought, well, I enjoyed them when I was 10, but I don't enjoy them now. And again, that's a metaphor. And a lot of people, I say, did you have your last cigarette? And they say, yeah. And I say, did you enjoy it? And they're like, no, really didn't.
No. By the time they're ready to quit, they come into the office and they're saying, I don't even know why I do it. I don't even enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I really love employing that. And of course, there's a lot of different approaches and a lot that goes into smoking emancipation. But I thought, well, I'm mostly known as a storyteller. Let's focus in on that a little bit.
And tell us what is the power of storytelling when it comes to hypnosis?
Well, storytelling really allows you to get real results from imaginary events. When we hear a story, we naturally go into a trance. In fact, there's that word spellbound. I love that word.
Yes.
Because it literally, a spell is an old word meaning story. And so when our clients are sitting there, or when people are sitting there and their eyes kind of glaze over and they're listening to a story, they've regressed to a childlike receptive state. Right. They're spellbound. They're hypnotized.
Right.
And so then that allows us the opportunity to give them a vicarious experience where they get to be someone else for a little while. And that's the whole reason they came to the office. They want to be someone else.
Right.
Someone similar to who they are, but who doesn't smoke or doesn't do the things that they have been doing that bother them.
And I've never talked to anyone who's not had the experience of some friend just telling them a story or watching a story online about somebody who achieved something, and they said, from that day after I heard that story, my life changed. And that wasn't even in a hypnotic trance, but I'm sure with your use of languaging and your tone and your voice, you can make it deeply hypnotic for them.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, all stories are inherently a little bit hypnotic, but
Sure.
when you start combining it with all the things we know as hypnotists, you can do amazing things.
Okay, so tell us about a little bit about Hypnosis, because that's what your latest book was on. So why is
Right.
laughter important in healing, and what does laughter do? Do you employ it in the hypnosis session?
I do. So laughter, of course, has a number of great benefits. There's wonderful physical benefits. It oxygenates the body.
Mm-hmm.
There's wonderful mental benefits because it leads to releases of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and of course, in the interview, I blank on the name of the other one. But anyway, endorphins, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so just off the bat, you can create a state change in someone by getting them to laugh. Now, usually we go around and we laugh because something's funny. But to me, that's letting the outside world control your state. And of course, as hypnotists and NLPers, we learn to control our own states. So the easiest way I've found to help people get into a powerful positive state is to get them to laugh unconditionally. In other words, when nothing's funny. So again, with that principle we know in hypnosis, fake it till you make it, take the action, the emotion will follow the motion. And not everyone can do this, but when I get a client who can, and a lot of them can learn to do it, you get them making a laughing noise, raising their eyebrows, smiling, and it creates that positive state. Well, part of what we do, of course, is state collapse and anchor collapse. So a lot of times I will have people imagine that difficult situation and then start that laughter, or even start the laughter first and then imagine that thing they've been having trouble doing.
Right.
And more I find that that's a go-to technique for me.
The collapsing anchors. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a
Collapsing anchors
wonderful
using
technique.
laughter.
Yeah, laughter to collapse anchors. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you've also got a 2-day post-conference course called, and again, from the storyteller, the master of words, it's called the Four Word Induction.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the Four Word Induction.
So
Not to be confused with the 4-letter induction.
Wow. Well, there's a few of those, but I try not to use 4-letter words in this part of my career. Spoiler, the 4-word induction is once upon a time.
Ah, okay. So it's going to be all about storytelling.
Yeah, it's all about storytelling and metaphor. It's a chance for people to learn a lot more about it, to practice and hone their skills. It's really fun because, of course, we're telling each other stories throughout. We're learning about the structure of stories. Right. So even people who get kind of nervous about it, because I found a lot of hypnotists, they're like, I don't know. I mean, I've learned how to do PMR and rapid inductions. I've learned all these other things, but storytelling, that seems kind of challenging.
Right.
But really, we're all natural storytellers. So I help people to get into that. And then, especially the second day, we're going to branch into nested loop storytelling.
Ooh. Tell us a little bit about nested loop. That's a good one.
Oh, and it is so neat and so much fun, and people are going to learn how to first, kind of structure it carefully, but then how to riff with it, how to have fun with it, and how to create things on the fly for your clients.
That's right. And nested loop, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's when you go from one story down to another, to another, to another, then you implant these great suggestions, and then you loop all the way back up, and it's a serious trance induction.
Yeah.
It's a really amazing technique, and it's something worth learning. I'm going to share with everybody. It's definitely, if you're going to take anything in storytelling, take James's course and learn how to do nested loops. So finally, you've got a very interesting course you'll be co-teaching with Kaz Riley, and Kaz is fabulous. She is known as one of the best hypnotherapists when it comes to sexual dysfunction and issues like that. So tell us a little bit about, you're going to be employing metaphors for sexual dysfunction, or
specifically erectile dysfunction.
It's erectile dysfunction. Okay.
Yeah. And so the thing is that Scott and Richard keep scheduling my classes and Kaz's classes at the same time. So we never get to go to each other's stuff. And so I said, well, I'm going to trick them. I'm going to get Kaz Riley to co-teach a class with me. So we decided to do that. And because I realized I've used a lot of metaphor and storytelling, especially with erectile dysfunction, because that's a topic a lot of guys are not going to be comfortable getting really graphic and specific about.
Right.
And they probably, if I start doing a hypnosis session and I'm talking all nice and soft, and then get real specific about a lot of these things, many guys are going to be uncomfortable with that.
Well, I'm sure a few thoughts are going through their head if you're if you're describing the process.
Right. So what I've realized is that there are a lot of amazing metaphors and stories, and I've used it in many different ways, because of course not every client is going to be the same, and so I'm really excited to collaborate with Kaz on working with that, and I think it'll be a great service that many of us can offer to our clients and know how to handle that situation that seems a little uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure between you and Kaz, you can help many men rise to the occasion.
That's right.
So, James, you've been in this business for quite a while. So if there's anything you wanted to leave our audience with, anything about what you believe they need to know is really the power of the mind, the power of hypnosis, any amazing, just astounding, work you've done with a client that even amazed you, what would that be?
Gosh, people often say I'll believe it when I see it, and I really think that we'll see it when we believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you help people believe it. And as we know, hypnosis puts people into an unlimited state of possibility, because it gets rid of that whole critical mind that's always questioning everything. So, especially with storytelling.
Exactly, because you can't enjoy a story if you are questioning every detail of it.
Exactly, and people don't tend to do that.
Just enjoy it, and so quite naturally, we can capture and lead the imagination. We can take people into a better story about their lives.
Excellent, amazing. So I look forward to seeing you at Hypnothoughts. So everybody, the Four Word Induction is a 2-day post-conference. You can go to htlive.net to sign up for James's 2-day post-conference. And also he's teaching the 3 workshops, the Smoking, Metaphors for Smoking Emancipation, Erectile Dysfunction, and Hypnosis.
Hypnosis.
All right, James. So you have a great day. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And we'll see you at Hypnothoughts Live 2018.
See you in Vegas.
See you in Vegas. Bye-bye.